All right. Hello and welcome everyone to the April 15th, 2022 edition of the Contributor Comms Upstream Marketing Sub-Project meeting. We are a part of the Kubernetes project, which is part of the CNCF, which is part of the Linux Foundation. So we have a code of conduct that we follow, which essentially says be respectful to your fellow participants and speakers, and generally be excellent to each other. So today we have our regular action items table as well as our usual notes. I want to start off by going through the notes and then we'll move to open action items. If you haven't added yourself, I think I've added everyone. Oh no, there's more people. If you haven't added yourself to the notes, thank you for putting in the notes document. I'll actually add folks because it looks like we have a couple of new folks today. Exciting. So usually at the beginning, we'll have a little bit of time for if anyone is new and would like to introduce themselves. We welcome you to do that now. If you would tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're here.
Yeah, I'm Harshita. I'm an undergraduate in India in third year. So I'm contributing to LFX. So I have created a category scenario recently and I have added a PR today. So can you please check it once, if any other suggestions which I can add in that. So that's why I'm here to discuss that. The scenario which I have developed.
And that was Harshita. Is that right? Okay,
Yes.
welcome.
Yeah.
And you said you created a new kata scenario, right?
Yes. First of all, I have created a demo scenario with my account, with my profile, and then today I have updated the scenario which is already present in a report.
Could you give us any links where you would like us to review that?
Yeah, sure. 1 second.
Sure. I know we had someone in here. Was that Deba who worked on Katakota stuff? Anyone else in here work on Katakota stuff?
Yeah, Deba is he was guiding me.
Okay.
Please, if any suggestions are there, to let me know. I have shared the scenario. This one's the demo scenario which I have developed.
And I need to sign up to be able to see it, which I'm not going to do right this second. But how would you like to receive review on it? If we review it, is there a tool in this?
Any changes which can help new contributor, to make it better, to make them understand.
Right, but how would you like us to give you that feedback? Like, is there a tool inside of this link where we can make comments on the scenario, or do we need to ping you directly on Slack, or is there an email address that you want to
ping me directly on the Slack?
Okay.
Yeah, because the scenarios just work directly, so there is no option to make comments. So yeah, okay. You can comment directly on Slack.
And what is your Slack username? Is it the same, Harshita?
Harshita, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that. I guess that's a new item. I will put that under new items. I feel like we should move our items in the notes maybe. Okay. And I thought I saw another new name. Anyone else want to introduce themselves? Oh. I think the other new name dropped off. Maybe they were intimidated by being asked to introduce themselves. It's also totally optional. Don't have to. Anyway, so this new Katakota review request, does anyone feel particularly inclined to want to do that or want to put their name on that, or just kind of do it ad hoc? No volunteers? Okay, so I will put it in our action items table and not assign anyone, just if you have time to do this, it would be much appreciated. If we don't get it done this week, then we'll come back to it next week. Insert a new row into our action items and go ahead and put that in there. Okay. Thank you very much, Rashida, and welcome. Okay.
I would like to thank you, like Kubernetes team, to give me such a good opportunity to explore myself as a student. Like I'm meeting you all developers. It's a really good thing for me.
It's a wonderful thing to hear. I'm so excited about our
Yeah.
intern programs and
Yeah.
helping
So
folks out. We've got several other students in this group, I think. So,
yeah.
so let's move on to our next item, which I suppose would be updates and big wins. Are there any particular updates and big wins that we want to shout out? I guess I have one, so I can start, which is, well, an update first. Chris has some personal stuff going on, so he may be out for a little bit, at least for this week. I don't know if he'll be back next week. But so he was doing comms and marketing leadership for the Contributor Summit that's happening in person at KubeCon EU in Valencia. So I'm taking over that for him for the time being. So this week I sent out both a tweet and an email, if I remember correctly, to KDev. Well, the email to KDev would have gone out this morning. I hope it actually did. Should have gone out 14 minutes ago because I scheduled it. So I'm excited that we got a couple of things out on the Contributor Summit. That's my update and big win. One update and one big win. And by the way, that was my first time sending an email to KDev. So that's why it's a big win. The Contributor Summit tweet. Any other updates and big wins before we moved into, we'll do new items first and then do open AIs, I think.
I have one more update to give.
Okay, please.
So Paris created a contributor ladder mentoring group. She wanted to create one, and she finally decided on 2 teams. I'm part of the team, and Athava is also the part of the team, along with Carlos and Aishwarya. And the next meeting she has kept on the coming Wednesday. So yes. Excited.
Awesome. So Perniswar and Atarva, you're both part of this effort. Is that right?
Yes.
Was there anyone else just
Atharva is
from our
there.
group?
I guess Atharva is there. And Carlos and Aishwarya, but I guess they are not in it. So.
Not in this group. We don't care about their achievements. I'm kidding. Carlos, I don't know how to spell their names though, so I'm not going to note it. But congratulations, Perniswar and Atarva, for taking on this new role.
You can just write me.
What were you saying? Sorry.
No, nothing. I just said it is more like the ContribEx thing, contributor experience thing.
That's okay. We're excited about the achievements of our members. And it's a ContribEx thing in general, because the mentoring thing that Paris is doing is part of the larger SIG ContribEx. So it's still relevant to us. You said that Paris created 2 mentoring groups. Could you tell me a little bit more about what she's doing there? I know she's been really excited to get this mentoring stuff going.
Yes, so basically okay, Athava, go on.
No, you go on.
So basically the contributor ladder thing is like not bringing new contributors into Kubernetes, but the existing contributors. She wants to like gel them up and let them know about the whole environment in the process. And we basically act as peer mentors, and we can peer program or just if there is any questions, we can handle it like with each other. And basically the whole thing is a group effort. Um, Along like everyone learns everything since no one knows the system completely, so it's kind of a peer learning thing. And it's like I don't know about the details so much, so Paris would be taking through it in the next Wednesday meet. So she wanted, I guess, 2 people, but since more people uh, came up for the thing, so she created 2 groups. And the next details would be in the next meet, I guess. If you
Awesome.
want, I can just drop some links to what's there.
Sure, that'd be
It's
great.
there in the in-dev mail.
Okay.
Yeah,
There's a KDev email on it. You said there was another group. Are they both working on this contributor ladder project, or is there another one? I think she's
no,
been
basically
doing stuff.
Sorry. Basically since there are 4 people, so since there are 4 people in the group, like me, Athava, Carlos, and Aishwarya, I guess there will be 2 groups of 2 each.
Okay.
So I guess
And do you
something
know
will
what
be
the
like
other
that
group
in
is
that
doing?
time. But
Do you
no, we
know?
haven't started yet, but maybe after the first meeting, we'll be handed over some roles.
Yeah,
Okay.
the upcoming Wednesday, there would be a meeting. Paris would tell us what exactly we are going to do in much more detail.
Awesome.
So,
I'm excited for you all. I hope that you'll enjoy that experience. Paris is, of course, awesome to work with and an excellent mentor. I've heard about this contributor ladder idea before. There was a talk at KubeCon LA where Josh Burkus and someone else, I don't remember who the other person was, did a talk about helping contributors become maintainers. And this contributor ladder concept was a topic in that talk. Maybe I should see if I can find that recording for you. Maybe a good resource.
Yes, that's exactly what the thing is. Like the rise of since most of the new contributors, they just come into the environment, remain for some time, and since they find it hard to sustain here, they basically leave the project. So
yeah,
we help each other to grow up in the project. Yeah.
Love it. Where do you talk from?
Like at this moment, we have a lot of new contributors, but there are few maintainers only, and we need new maintainers for the projects.
Yep.
And as a matter of fact, Harshita is here, who is doing this Katagoda thing. And if she remains in the project, she can maintain the project also.
Yeah.
Sure. I'll love it if it is possible. Like, if you guys support me, definitely I will.
Yeah. Open source contribution is a tricky thing, especially at the scale of Kubernetes. We've got to develop processes to make it easier for people to move forward. So I'm excited about this effort. Thanks so much for sharing it with us.
I've dropped the link in the chat. You can check the issue out.
Perfect. Thank you. Member, reviewer to approver, sub-project lead. I'm not sure what that was with regard to, Bob. But...
That's just our standard ladder.
Oh, yeah.
Moving from member to reviewer to approver to sub-project lead, and then eventually like potentially into SIG leadership.
A good note. So I'm linking this issue in here, and I'll also make a note of this.
For anyone that's interested, it's actually outlined in the K community repo and the community membership.md doc.
In the ContribEx repo, did you say, or
K community.
K community? In which doc again?
Community membership.
Community membership doc. Good to know. That might be useful for these folks who are learning about this concept. Okay. Any other updates or big wins before we move into new items, and then we'll go over our open action items? Updates, big wins? Anybody got a long weekend aside from Hina? Right.
Well, that makes me sad. You all can come participate in my long weekend though with me.
We will in our hearts.
There you go.
So we'll move on to new items. I know, Ray, you've got a couple of new
Yes.
requests for us.
Some requests, 2 tweets. The April community meeting is next Thursday. I'm the host of it. I'm hosting
Yay.
it. Also, the release team, the 125 release team shadow application will be open, hoping today. We're still trying to target or confirm dates for the 125 release, since 124 release is delayed. I'm actually tempted to open the application process today anyway, just put the dates. Right now I have the dates as it's approximate and subject to change currently. So I really want to get this out today. So it'd be great if you could tweet that, because the application is only open for 2 weeks, or about a little bit over 2 weeks if I send it out today.
Awesome.
I'll create
So-
those issues if the application is out today. I'll also create the issue.
Do you have the contributor tweets repo handy? Do I need to find that for you? Contributor
could
tweets
find
issues.
it.
I've got it.
Okay.
Haha. Here you go. So if you create those issues yourself, you can go ahead and put your tweet draft in there. I usually check it in Twitter first, because it will do the check on the length after you submitted it. So I usually check it in Twitter just to make sure I won't have to fix that part. So are you planning to go ahead and create a tweet draft with the issue, or okay, or do you need help with that?
I will today for the shadow application.
Okay,
I
so
will
I'll be on the lookout for that.
Yeah.
I've set it up so that I get notifications on my phone, so
Okay.
should see it.
I might ping you on Slack too, because I'll be
That might be a good idea.
I'll be away from the keyboard for a few hours in the middle of the day, so I want to get that out.
Yes, because we want to make sure that we get that out in a timely fashion. Sounds good. And then on the community meeting front, Avinash, if I'm not mistaken, has been our go-to, our community meeting interface role person. Are you doing anything with this community meeting?
Well, actually, I was about to message Dora about the same if she needs any help. So yeah, I've got a task to do. Tweets.
Cool. So I should add a note about that. And it sounds like you'll be working with Ray this time on making sure the blog gets done and everything. So it should be a pretty smooth process for you, for you both, hopefully. Avinash to message Laura about community meeting. Awesome. Side question that I don't want to go into too much detail on, but whatever happened to that blog post from the last community meeting? Did it ever end up happening?
There should be 2. Nigel's. I saw the draft for Nigel and I put it in the ContribEx Slack channel.
Okay.
I made one additional comment when I think I did that. Put it in the Slack channel last week.
I think you did. I remember asking this question before.
Yeah, and didn't see one from the last community meeting, but
okay. Was there another one between Nigel and now? I don't think
Josh
there was.
Burkus hosted one.
Oh.
I think Laura. I asked Laura if we are going to have a blog for the last time meet, but she told that there are some changes going to happen in the community
Okay.
meeting thing, so we won't be having a blog for last time.
Okay.
No blog for Josh's, but the Nigel blog still exists out there and probably is not out yet. Sounds like.
Yeah, I'm gonna find it. I'll put it in the in the agenda.
We reviewed it and everything, but
I think maybe just a formality is just creating the pull request.
yeah, I think that's what's holding this up, which is a pretty common issue, definitely that I've experienced in my work contributing with Kubernetes. Is the GitHub process can be a blocker a lot of the time, which is why we usually try to shepherd along these things and let them know how to do it. But there's only so much we can do, and sometimes these things still get blocked. So it's good for us to know that it might need some help. If we see it, we might want to poke on it. The squeaky PR gets the approve. So true. If I don't hear about it 10 times, it probably won't happen.
It doesn't help that GitHub notifications are a tire fire.
Yeah, really. Like what? It's taken me years to get to a point where I'm as good as I am now, and that's not saying much. It's not a high bar. There are some improvements to be made. All right. Any other new items that we want to add in here before we go into open action items? We can, of course, add them as we go through, but there's nothing else pressing. Bob isn't here to give us a ton more work. We'll move into open action items. And we'll start with you, Hina. I know you've been dying to give us your update.
No, I just feel bad because things still look like squiggles unless I hold the computer directly to my face. So still paused, and my apologies. My eyesight's fluctuating, but hopefully I can see you soon for the greater good.
No worries. Take care of yourself first.
Thanks.
This is volunteer work, so gotta do it when you can. And what is the status of that? I know Perniswar got added to the org, right? So that's a big win that we should have mentioned.
Congratulations.
Right? Didn't that go through? I think it did. I think I saw that merged. Pretty sure it did. I'm gonna add it as a big win.
Oh, actually, I have a couple upcoming things, new items to you that we should probably. So with the delays of 124 and the 125 cycle planning, I think it was right now enhancements freeze is for 125 is only going to be a couple weeks after KubeCon. Let's see.
The start of 125 is going to be a couple weeks after KubeCon, or
let's see. The enhancements freeze.
Yeah, that does make sense. All right.
Let me open up this PR real quick.
And also another update big win, I guess, is that we did do a tweet on the release 1.24 release being delayed. Happy that we got that out there.
So enhancements freeze is going to be June 3rd.
Okay.
And so yeah, that's 2 weeks after KubeCon EU.
That's gonna be tricky.
Yeah. So most people will probably want to try and get, like, especially with this extra set of downtime between, since like code freeze is still in effect. Thaw has not happened yet. To start working on their enhancements for 125.
There's not going to be a lot of time to get those in.
And that can be, tweet. Honestly, talking to CC, about getting more comms going for that would probably be good. She's the 125 release lead.
Okay, talk with CC. 1.25 release lead.
I was just chatting about this as well.
Yeah, you're the emeritus lead this time, right?
Yeah, and we're gonna ask for a minute during the contributor summit for folks who are there. I'm not gonna be there, but if we just announce and somewhere announce there, but yeah. Someone will reach out.
Yeah, so what got on my radar was James reaching out to me. It's just like, hey, how do I get a minute during the contributor summit?
I was just pinging James at the start of the meeting too. Yeah, about this. So yeah.
The other potential work item that might be good for people, since it's a new group and they're trying to get more community members, would be to do a profile on the batch working group. I might have brought this up before, but I don't remember.
Oh, exciting. I think, Perniswar, you were working on a new SIG spotlight. Have you already chosen your SIG? Reached out to them? Sorry, we'll come back to that.
Okay.
But create a new spotlight on the batch working group.
Yep. Because one of the big things that has been a pain point has been getting direct engagement from, like, I've been in the batch research world for a while, and trying to get feedback from end users has been a pain point. So any sort of marketing support we can get that group to potentially pull in extra people and people to provide more info on that would be very useful.
We need greater public awareness. And is there some way for end users to provide some feedback right now, like a survey that we could add into this spotlight?
Not a survey. It's mostly like there's a couple like open proposals out, like a design for a queue. In fact, they just had their like .00 really 01 release of that.
How is Q spelled? Is it spelled with a K?
K, yes.
Of course it is.
Yep. But yeah, it'd be any sort of promotion we can give to them to try and get more. They'll also have there's going to be a colo at KubeCon EU that's focused on this. So like, I know there isn't a whole lot of time before KubeCon, but like if we could get something out like a week or two before, with a highlight of the group to potentially get more people engaged there, that would be super awesome.
Okay. The batch focused colo. Okay. Cool. So release news, enhancement freeze is going to happen on June 3rd. Talk with CC, the release lead. Ray is also emeritus lead. They'll make an announcement during the contributor summit, but we'll also need some tweets awareness there. One thing I wanted to ask there is, do we need to do like a Slack bot message? Do we need to ping SIGs about this? Possibly.
It would probably be good to, it should be mentioned in the community meeting, and probably like when the schedule is merged, the release schedule. Ray, do you know when they're targeting to have it merged?
I want to merge as soon as possible, but
okay.
I know there's some discussion about the dates still going on, and who knows? Hopefully that'll be resolved pretty quickly.
So I think once that is merged, that's when we should use the Slack bot and send, because well, okay, actually,
once the schedule is merged, what is that exactly is getting merged?
The release schedule.
Okay, yes.
So once the release schedule is merged and we update the website, kates.dev/release, because that will be,
okay.
Yeah.
What we want to point people to.
What we want to point people to.
Okay, so once the release schedule is merged and the website is updated, then we'll want to do probably a Slack bot message and probably tweet. Do we need to do anything like a blog post, something bigger here? Or Slack bot tweet is probably enough for now.
Yeah, that's probably going to be enough for this. It's mostly just
Okay,
trying to
Dev.
get. Yeah, I think usually there's an email that goes out to KDEV from the current release team with the schedule.
Okay, so we probably don't need to be involved with that though.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, either pointing people towards the website, pointing them towards the email that'll go to KDEV, just to get more awareness about enhancements freeze and the timeline changes for 1.25.
Okay. Sounds good. And that'll be a good note for Avinash on, we want that mentioned in the community meeting, and Ray, because you're actually the person who's going to be doing the community meeting.
I will
so no
mention
for you.
Yes.
Guess I should assign you to that. Ray to mention. Oh no, what did I do? Oh. Nope. I did not mean to do that. Sorry, typing is hard. Ray to mention. So I'm taking down these action items in our notes for now. Depending on time, I'll get them into the table, but they're at least here, and I'll move them into the table after this meeting if I need to. Okay. If that's all you can think of right now, we'll move back into the open action items.
Yes, sorry to like just drop that the last.
No, that's how these
Cool.
things go. As long as we get to them, as long as we mention them, it's better than not mentioning them. Cool. So Hina's PR for the GitHub list so that we'll get notifications of issues is on hold. You've got that update. The next one is Rajula's action item about the auto generation of blog tweets. I know that this was blocked because the tool that we were looking at using for auto generating tweets about blogs has an issue and can't be used directly. Any updates on that from anyone? I think it's been a couple of weeks. You all have been meaning to meet. Still nothing yet?
Yeah, nothing yet.
Okay. Rajula's busy. Have you all been able to chat with him at all though? See if he's still thinking about it?
He was working on it. Just need to ping him back.
Okay.
Just to see what he has done. What's the progress?
And this is why we need more maintainers.
Exactly.
Really appreciate you all working with Rajula on that to try to figure it out. Those kinds of things can be quite tricky. So the next item in our action items list is check in with Matt about the Twitter Together issue. Chris was going to check on that. Avinash noticed a thread in Slack saying that it was in progress. Then last time we actually checked, I don't think we updated this, that Matt said that he wasn't going to be able to get to it until May in the GitHub issue. Are there any other updates? That was just in GitHub from a while ago, so I'm not sure if it was relevant. You haven't seen anything, have you, Bob? On the Twitter Together thing?
It's been a little bit since I've looked at it.
Yeah.
I know. So there was an open. Let me check real quick.
I can see it's in this pull request.
Oh, so the current maintainer for it says that they are essentially blocked until the beginning of May.
Yeah.
So there are open PRs to address some of our needs, but likely won't happen for like another month.
Okay. Yeah, that's what we noticed last time. So is what it is. I hope we can get that in though. The scheduling will make a really big difference, I think, in our workflows. So we'll check in on that later. Atarva.
Matt has written on the pull request thread that he is not sure whether he would be handling the scheduling thing. So,
Okay.
so I might be far behind the update, but as far as this thing on the Twitter, the GitHub thread is concerned, he has written here that he's not sure about handling the scheduling thing. Let me grab the link.
In this tweet.
But there was something in the Slack, maybe a thread or something. I might have
Better
missed
handled
that.
through automation on GitHub rather than relying on Twitter. So this is like debating whether this should be implemented as part of Twitter Together or as external, like a GitHub action.
Not sure.
Okay, that is good to note. Thank you for pointing that out. Best to tackle this as part of this PR. Separate discussion issue PR. All right. Well, I want to move on to other action items, but let's keep that in mind that we may need to look at a separate scheduling solution. We keep saying like it should be doable with actions, but we haven't spent the time to actually evaluate what would be needed there or what that might look like. So separate solutions, as Matt indicated.
I've posted the Slack thread here too.
Yeah, it's also mentioned in the pull request that's linked in the action item. We'll grab that link. Thank you, Tarva. Ooh. You have that direct comment as well. Grab that. Okay, link that here. Thank you. And I'm going to move on to the next action item. We can come back to that if we have time and discuss it more. Avinash role description for a community meeting interface role. We wanted to get a few more of those done first to see what it would look like. That's still the status?
Yep, I believe after this meet, we'll have some great idea about what exactly the description would be about the role. Yeah.
So you'll probably have an idea and be able to get started on some description there after April's meeting.
Yeah.
Be able to get started after April's meeting. Okay. And is that next week or the week after?
Next week.
Okay, so the next time we meet, we'll have something to talk about there probably. Next one, release webinar. Just keeping an eye on 1.24 release stuff. I know the release has been delayed by 2 weeks. Do we know if they're planning to do a webinar, if there's one scheduled, if we need to tweet about it?
I believe there will be a webinar. I don't have a schedule currently.
Okay, not scheduled.
Yeah.
Our note on that currently is this could be months after the release. So
it can be, and usually is a month about after the release. So
okay, it's good to keep in mind because otherwise we'll probably miss it unless someone brings it up. But will be a while before we have to deal with that. Tweet about feature blogs that come out after the release and will be released by the end of this week. So we were supposed to be able to talk about it this week, but since it got delayed by 2 weeks, I'm guessing those are delayed, or are they not? Feature blogs?
Yes, they will be delayed. that is actually a really good point. We should adjust some of the dates that we
Okay.
have already. Yeah.
Delayed by 2 weeks. So not next meeting, but the meeting after we'll want to talk about that, which is the 29th.
Yes.
Let's discuss on the 29th.
Yeah. Actually, we could discuss next Tuesday because, well, actually, no, you're right. The 29th, getting my dates. Yeah. So we'll discuss on the 29th and the featured blogs will start on May 4th. Well,
Okay.
the release blog will go out May 3, and so will a special history of Docker Shim blog will also go out as well. That is a little bit different. We normally don't release 2 blogs on release day, but this is a special release. We are releasing 2 blogs. So then starting on May 4 will be the feature blogs.
So special history of Docker Shim blog on day of release, and then the regular just release blog, I guess.
Yeah, yes. And
so we have 2 blogs to tweet on the day of release, which is May 3rd.
May 3rd.
May 3rd. I'll probably break that out into a separate action item after this, but I'm going to leave it there for now. So we have a couple of weeks and we'll want to mention that on that same meeting. So maybe I'll actually just leave it there because this is stuff to discuss on the 29th. Sounds good. Review repo, look into role descriptions. We had quite a bit of discussion last time about what we think roles should look like for our group. Chris wanted to look into starting to figure that out. But like I said, Chris is unavailable at the moment, so no updates there for now. I had a big action item, which I was not able to get to this week since I was taking up some other things, which I need to get done though, which is the tweet spreadsheet for KubeCon EU 2022. I usually have a bit more time on Fridays than I do during the week, though I have a couple of things to do today. But if I can get this done before our next meeting, I'll mention it on Slack probably and add everyone or something like that. Just try to let you all know before the meeting so that we can get started with that because we're a month out from KubeCon. I usually like to have a good amount of time to get these done. The example tweet document where I'll be putting it is already linked there in the comments. If I get it done today, I'll let you all know. Sorry that I don't have that done yet. Next one, Perniswar. You decided to do a spotlight on SIG docs.
Yes. I decided. Yeah, I decided, but I guess I'll be busy this month with some of my college work and stuff.
Okay.
So I was planning to start it by the end of this month, if that will be okay.
Whenever on SIG spotlights, generally, we do have that new request. I don't know if you heard earlier. Bob asked for a spotlight on the batch working group. So we would follow a similar process that we do with the regular SIG spotlights on that. But if you can't work on one until the end of the month, don't worry about it now. But if anyone else wants to take up writing a SIG spotlight blog, or in this case, working group spotlight blog, let me know and I will get you set up with all of the resources and guide you through that process. That sounds good. On hold till the end of the month for whatever SIG spotlight you would like to make. If we don't get the batch one done by the end of the month, I might ask you to do that one if you haven't started your other one yet, which sounds like you haven't, right?
Yes, for sure.
So I'm going to put on hold until the end of the month. Sounds good. And whenever you do get started on that, like I said, reach out to me. I'm happy to help guide you through the process if you have any questions or anything along the way. Atarva, need a new tweet on Contributor Summit. That was from last
Yeah.
time. So I guess we decided on the SIG Docs thing last time, but oh yeah, that's right. Because we were talking with Ray and Ray was like, I'm part of SIG Docs, so we can do that. It is a good idea. We should do that. But anyway, Atarva, new tweet on Contributor Summit. I know that I pushed one at least. So was there another one?
Yeah, it's done. We were just going to give a detail to it, but it's out today. Hooray.
Awesome. So I'll count that as done. And I went ahead and added the new action item on Katakoda review into our action items list to make sure that we check on that next time. I also have a few other action items in the notes that I'm going to add into our action item table. Delete row. Okay. And so that is it for our open action items. And now we have only 7 minutes left. Are there any topics that folks wanted to talk about for the last few minutes? I know there was something that we were talking about that I was like, we could come back to if we have time. Or any other questions or anything?
Well, actually, I had a question. Can you, why is these 1.24 release delayed? I'm missing that point.
Yeah. So I could take this. It's delayed of an issue with Go 118. And so there was a fix with that. So they had to wait for until Go 118.1 was released. And they also not only had to wait till Go 118.1 was released, but also have to make sure that the fix is actually fixed. And also they had to also postpone some release candidate cuts as well, just to get that Go 118.1 in there. And it's due to this. I actually have the chat. I actually have the issue. It's breaks CSR validation, and that's put it on the Zoom chats. It's a KK issue, and that's pretty much the reason why it was delayed. Go 118 breaks the CSR validation, fixed pending Go 118.1, which was recently released. So
Thanks, Ray. And thanks for asking, Avinash. I was also actually wondering about that when I was working on how we were going to communicate that the release was delayed. I ended up deciding not to directly mention that it was a Go 1.18 thing, but I wondered if I should have. Any preferences on public communication about why the release is delayed?
I think it's fine to leave it off.
And also fine to leave it in.
Yeah, I'm fine leaving it. Well, I feel like if you leave it in, it's kind of pointing a
poses
finger.
more questions.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And
That's
so
how I
it's
kind
like-
of felt about it.
Yeah.
It's a little worried it would feel that way to people, so I didn't do that. Thank you for the validation. But good to know that is why the release is delayed. I'm going to put that into our notes as well. Info on release delay. Okay. Any other questions or things people want to talk about? Follow-up questions to that?
Can you please explain what exactly the spotlight thing is?
The spotlight? Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah.
So the SIG Spotlight series of blog posts is a concept that we came up with like 2 years ago or something. It used to be an umbrella issue that we would track on our board, which I should really get better about actually walking through. All of our different tools, they make things complicated. Anyway, so there used to be an umbrella issue there on our board that was for this SIG Spotlight series, and it had a list of the different SIGs on it that we wanted to create blog posts about. The reason that we don't have that issue anymore is because the initial issue had that list, but then as people took SIGs to create blog posts on, that would just be in the comments. So it wasn't keeping very good track of what SIGs had actually gotten spotlight blogs. So that's why we don't have the issue anymore. But the concept still remains, and it's still something that we like as a task. So there's some information in our repo, which I'll have to go grab the link to somewhere, about this. And the idea is to create a blog post where you interview the co-chairs generally of a special interest group within the Kubernetes project. I did one on SIG Windows, for example. So I pinged the SIG Windows group and I said, hey, I'm from the contributor comms group. I would like to do a blog post spotlighting your special interest group. Who would you like me to talk to? They pointed me to the co-chairs. I created a document of questions to ask them about their group. What does SIG Windows do? What are particular features that you're working on that you're excited about? How do you know what users actually need from your SIG, and how do you prioritize work? What types of expertise do you need right now that you're missing? So it included like a call to action for anyone reading it who is interested in that to become a contributor as part of that group, which is something that's valuable to the SIG. And just kind of talked about what the SIG did and why they were important. So that's the idea of these blog posts. So we've got some resources in our repo around example questions that you could ask if you want to do one of these interviews. And there are several examples of blog posts that we've created that do this spotlight thing. Like the SIG Windows spotlight, I can find that one really easily, but there's also a SIG networking one that we did a long time ago. And it's been so long since we've done one of these that honestly, if we wanted to do literally any SIG, it would still be relevant. So that's the idea. Does that help?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, so I've helped to guide a few people through this process of creating these SIG spotlights. Most of them kind of dropped off on it. It takes a while because of the interview component as well as the process of getting a blog post approved. So when I did it, I did my interview of the SIG co-chairs async. I just gave them a doc and asked them to fill it out. And I had to ping them several times to do that. There was another one that got done, the most recent one. Chris actually did a live interview with the people and recorded it over Zoom. And then Chris ended up not having time to write the blog post, so he passed it off to someone else. I think that was, oh gosh. I can't remember names right now. It's like in my head, but I can't. Anyway, so we got one other one done that way. So there's several different ways that you can get the information, and then you turn it into a blog post and go through the process. But if you want to do one, I'm here to help you. You're welcome to ping me directly.
Yeah, I'll ping you.
Sounds good. If you want to do this batch one, I'll also give you some information on that, but you can also pick whatever you want, honestly, because these are very useful things to do. And we're at time. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming today. And I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.